I got my first concussion when I was, I think, 11 or 12 years old. I was a competitive swimmer. My name is Kira, and I'm a volunteer with the LIFT program. I was at swim practice and I was kicked in the head, and at that point I didn't know what a concussion was or knew anybody that had had a concussion before, so I kind of swam the rest of practice just thinking it was a headache that would go away. And then about like an hour later I got out of the pool and just immediately felt like I was about to pass out and just super dizzy, super nauseous, and it was definitely a really scary experience for me.
In Greater Victoria, thousands of youth are at risk of concussions and brain injuries every year, with sports, recreation, and everyday accidents as leading causes. When it comes to recovery and support, there's a gap in services tailored specifically for them.
So that was my very first concussion, and I went on to, I've actually lost count now, but I have the count at over 15. Most of them I got most of them from swimming, actually. And I've found that, since my first concussion, every time that I've gotten, one after, it's just gotten easier and easier to get a brain injury, until nowadays I feel like if I bump my head on anything like a little bit harder than I should, then I get one almost instantly. When I was 17 years old, I qualified for Olympic trials, which had been like a dream of mine since I was 13. I think every kid dreams of going to the Olympics someday. It's really cool to feel like, that might actually be a path that I could go on. And then a few months before, I think maybe 6 months before I was supposed to go to trials, I got another concussion, which really set me back a few months. And I had to cut back on training and cut back on, how hard I was working in practice when I did go. And so by the time that, the meet came around, I just didn't feel like I was, in good enough shape to go. I didn't want to go and not swim my best, so I decided to just not go at all. And I ended up not requalifying again after that, which was really disappointing. I was hoping that I could, if I missed it once, I could eventually go again. But I just, I think I just had too many setbacks because I had following concussions that, just kept setting me back over and over again. And so I didn't end up getting to go to that meet and fulfill that dream, which was really disappointing. And I actually ended up just quitting the sport a few months later.
Unlike adults, youth with concussion have a very different experience. 20% of youth who experience a concussion may suffer from persistent symptoms lasting more than 3 months, impacting their academic performance and social interactions.
My own personal experience with 3 undiagnosed concussions throughout my life has kind of led me to a job at the Victoria Brain Injury Society. My name is Lauren Kronk, and I am the Intake and Youth Program Coordinator and Facilitator. It's the reason that I feel so passionate about working with youth, because the clientele that we see during the LIFT program are around the same age I was when I experienced my brain injuries. So I have that firsthand experience of trying to navigate and find systems that are inclusive, which kind of led me to create this program here at VBIS. Hearing Kira talk about her story, I'd like to say that it's surprising. However, unfortunately, it is not uncommon to, if you haven't experienced it yourself, to at least know someone in your personal life who's experienced a brain injury, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed. And I think that proves the importance of a program like LIFT to create a community and a space where youth are able to come and make connections with others and learn how to navigate the system of recovery, which is not easy to do, considering LIFT is the only youth-targeted brain injury support program in Victoria.
The LIFT program is for any traumatic brain injury survivors age 16 to 25. It's just a safe place for us to gather and, relax, do some crafts, maybe journal, and just be in a space where you're not going to be judged or, feel like you have to explain yourself.
To further prove the importance of a program like LIFT, it is known that there's over 46,000 youth in Canada every year that acquire a brain injury. So that is a lot of youth who are looking for systems, and it can be difficult to navigate them, especially at an age, coming of age and growing up and your brain is developing. Imagine having a brain injury at the same time that alters our state.
My name is Pam Pruitt. I'm the Executive Director at the Victoria Brain Injury Society. Concussions don't just affect youth, they ripple out into society, affecting family and community at large. But too many young people facing recovery lack adequate resources, and that's where the Victoria Brain Injury Society comes in. Our youth programs are designed to fill the gap, offering tailored support, education, and recovery tools that empower young people and their families. Together, we can build a Victoria where every young person with a brain injury gets the care and resources they need to thrive. I guarantee that every one of us knows somebody whose kid has a concussion, and they don't talk about it. They might not even know that they have a concussion because it's not recognized and it's not made aware. That's why our youth programs are so important, because we start talking about brain injury and concussion, and we start making it a recognized thing and making it okay to talk about it.
Whether you're in the capacity to have a conversation, take this information home, take it to your coworkers, start these conversations, share the awareness of brain injury, that helps. And if you're within the capacity to donate as well, your donations directly influence our ability to impact youth in a positive way during their recovery.
Donating to our programs is amazing and helps us to get the word out. But really, that's what we're here for. We want to get the word out. We want to make sure that kids, their families, their parents, their coaches, we want to make sure people are talking about concussion as a brain injury, and that they're aware that concussions are very serious and they need to be taken seriously.
Well, there has been great strides, I think, in improving concussion awareness and support. As someone who has had a concussion and had many concussions, I think there's still more to be done.
Thank you all for being here today and being in the audience to support the Victoria Brain Injury Society. Just by showing up and sitting here and educating yourself and watching this video, you are helping. On behalf of Vivas, thank you so much for being here today.